Hi, Carrots. Sorry to hear that. Hope you get better. Thank you for the lurk. Always appreciated. Wow, this is so cool. I'm like adjusting my my new microphone boom arm, and it's like so much easier and quieter, and also I can adjust it in ways that my other boom arm like would not have been able to let me do previously. So like I can actually have the microphone right in my face, and the chance of me like punching it or something, which was a lot higher back then, is like significantly lower. It's freaking sick. Although, actually I just realized something. I need to tighten this a bit. All right, there you go. That's better. So just gotta adjust this, throw this around a little bit, and boom, that's the setup. Beautiful. All right, ads are almost done. Honestly, today might not be full farming Friday. I'm considering just playing some 2x KO later, but we'll see. I do want to do some farming Friday. What the fudge? Oh, interesting. I guess we'll have to sit here for a bit here because the ads played late for some reason. That's weird. I was actually wait, sorry. I need to save the actual just chatting content for when we're actually just chatting, you know. Can't get too ahead of myself, otherwise I'll run out of things to say. I don't think I have that many things to talk about this time though. I really need to update some other things. Like I think getting a better second monitor would be nice, or getting a third monitor so I could read chat easier. But I can like make the argument that getting a better boom arm helps me both for streaming and out of streaming because it helps with cable management. Because the one I got has like a hollow bit like in between where it holds my my microphone, so I can actually put cables in it, or that's like the whole point of it. So it helps a little bit with cable management, which is extremely nice, to be honest with you. So that's pretty nice. Oh my god, this boom armor is so nice. I didn't have a lot of time to like really ruminate on it earlier when I was doing my collab, so it's just really cool. All right, 20 more seconds and the ads end and we'll be good. It's so weird that the ads started so late though. That is very strange. All right, ads just ended. We should be good to start now. Where'd I go? Hello. Hello. All right, let's get whatchamacallit? Let's get the farm up and running. There we go. Continue. Go into settings, go to Twitch and connect. Then what I can do is go here, type text. Like so. And then I pin the message. And then we just keep that pinned. It's gonna be a little bit awkward to talk when the only messages in the stream are going to be me. But there are days like this, I think. There are always going to be days where I stream and nobody's there, because that happens. We just gotta keep moving. It's also the only awkward part of doing Just Chatting, I think. Me thinks. But I think like after you've done this for so long, it really doesn't matter all that much. So yeah, hello. Happy Farming Friday, everybody. Let me adjust my microphone a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out like what the best position for this is, because there's like, I do have stuff on my desk. I think some of this can be cleaned up though. But I do have like some things here that I would kind of like to keep, kind of, sort of. So, okay, this I can throw out though. I probably should have done this earlier, or like, you know, not now, but I'm sure it's fine. I do need to clean up my desk though, and I do also want a desk mat, but like I don't want like a normal desk mat, like a black, solid black desk mat. Just like, I want like an aesthetic looking one. I want something that like has like a nice cool design on top of it, you know? I'm not sure what exactly I'd be looking for, but that is something that I would like. So there I go, I guess. I'm looking at all the achievements and Rusties to see. I guess we can go achievement hunting. Some of these are pretty easy though, which is just like put 10 of an animal on one farm, and then we could just like sell them after. Improve all crops with chips. Okay, that's probably something we have to look for then. Look for something for everything. Place 10 bulb hives on a single farm. That's pretty easy. Grow a giant zucchini. Do I have access to zucchinis? I should, right? No, I don't actually. I have eggplant. The picture of the achievement is an eggplant, but it says zucchini, so that threw me off. Oh yeah, I guess the other thing I would like to get next would be a pop filter. I don't know how much of a big deal it is to not have a pop filter is, to be honest with you. Because I'm trying to figure out if I actually do need a pop filter. I would assume that it would help in some ways, but I don't speak with a lot of plosives as they're referred to. So, oh, but I can definitely hear like those like popping moments. So maybe it would be worthwhile to get a pop filter. I guess it depends on how much I care about sound quality, which I actually do for some reason. I don't know why, but I do care about how I sound. So just like another thing, I guess, for me to be concerned about, overly concerned about anyways. Oh, this position's better. Oh, this is better. Wait, and then I adjust this a little bit. Sorry, I'm only gonna be like fidgeting with things as I go with my boom arm, trying to figure out like the best placement for everything. But I think we figured it out. I think this right here, this is good. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Okay, we're good. We're solid. We got there in the end. Join. Hi, MX. What's up? I see you're also a part of the oh, you're also starting to join. You got there. Hello, MX. What's up? I'm like adjusting this new boom arm I got. So I'm good, doing good. What about you? I'm doing fine. Yeah, I've been doing consistent Friday streams recently at around the same time-ish. So I see you found me twice in a row. 2 weeks in a row. I usually play games throughout the week, and then on Fridays I just do farming. We call them, I refer to them as farming Fridays. Although this farm is almost done. I think like once we unlock everything, like we get all the crops unlocked, which we're pretty close to doing, we get everything up, we start a new farm, and then we start from scratch. Wait for that silksong screen for song, but I couldn't catch you. Yeah, that is true. You did it. You couldn't. My stream schedule has been, I think, consistent time, or actually maybe not time wise. Day wise though, has been really weird. So I'm sorry about that. But I've been trying to make like Tuesday afternoons more consistent and Friday afternoons. Like those are 2 times I think I'm trying to make like every week. Although I say that, but next week I'm not gonna be able to stream on Friday because I'm actually going to Portugal with my family. So that's pretty exciting. I get to drink more wine, which I actually don't like wine all that much normally, but I think wine and like Porto wine, for example, it's like sweeter than normal than like other wines, and it's a lot more palatable to me. That plus I'm not a huge fan. I've found out recently that I'm actually not a huge fan of red wine, but I do like other kinds of wines. So I think it's specifically a red wine thing, but I also like Porto wine, like red wine, but like that's because it's sweeter and I have a huge sweet tooth. I say that, but I also have problems with things that are too sweet. But yeah. So yeah, next week I'm gonna be gone for, how long was it again? Let me check. Let me check the exact schedule, so I'm not spreading false news. Where is it? Here it is. Here's my calendar. Gotta scroll up here. So I'm leaving next week Thursday, so 27th. And the trip is only going to span the like 5 days. Yeah, so it's not gonna be like super long, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be pretty fun. I'm excited. It does mean I'm probably not gonna be able to stream the Tuesday after, but I'll keep doing stuff. Cool. This is so cool. I'm still like gushing over my new boom arm. It's amazing. I should probably take a picture of it and then post it in Discord or something. But it's awesome. The only problem with that is my desk is really messy, so I would like to clean up my desk a little before I post anything. Among other things. Where the heck is it? There it is. I have a bunch of random like stuff on my desk for fidget purposes. The thing that I fidget with the most is my dice. I have like D&D dice on my desk at all times, and I have this set that I particularly like just fidgeting with, just having in my hand and like turning it around in my like between my fingers, because like it has very like sharp edges and stuff, and it just feels nice to like hold, I guess. I don't know. I also have nail clippers. Am I weird that I actually like find myself fidgeting with my nail clipper? Like I'll literally just be like swinging it around like this, like you'll hear like a snap because I swing the thing around, and I'll like I wouldn't like press on it so that it like clips, I guess. I'm literally just like swinging like the part that can like go out around, and then like spinning it like this. I think I need a proper fidget toy though. This is not this is not. I used to actually spin pencils. I wasn't very good at it, and I really only learned like 2 or 3 different things, but I would literally just like spin a pencil in my hands back in school, or back when I was still in school. I think like I got my attention fixed from doing that, because people would be like, whoa, how do you do that? And I'd be like, oh, you just do it like this. And they'd be like, whoa, I can't do that. And I'm like, well, I spent a lot of time doing this. Every waking moment would be me just spinning a pencil at school. I probably should have learned to do more though, like more pencil tricks. I think that would have been cooler, but nope. Yeah, I think I do need a pop filter. I guess that's the next thing I'll buy, which would probably help, because I just breathed on the mic and I heard it and I was like, ooh. I should not be doing this. But yeah, we finished Pal World recently. We just did a collab. We did a peak collab with some friends. And oh yeah, did you notice that when you put an emote, it also shows up in the farm? Which feels very strange, seeing my stupid looking emote in this cute little like pixel farm game. But yeah, if you type emotes, the emote will show up above your character's head. It's very strange, especially knowing what my emotes look like. Word Peak collab, I love that game. Yeah, that happened yesterday. That happened yesterday. I did announce it yesterday in the Discord server too, but I guess I need to talk more about that kind of thing. But I play with two guys that one person who I've known both for a decent amount of time. I've known Vision for like 2 or 3 years. I've known Rin for like 4 or 5. And we've done collabs in the past. But it was just us three we were playing. We didn't make it. We didn't peak though, unfortunately. It was a valiant effort, but in the end, we did not manage to peak. Sad. It's hard. It is a hard game, but I mean, what friend slap game isn't somewhat difficult? Lethal Company isn't exactly easy. Repo isn't exactly easy. Slay the Spire. No, I'm kidding. Slay the Spire is not friend slap. Okay, is it weird that I actually don't like referring to those games as like friend slap? I think some of them can be sloppy, but like a lot of them are like very like well-made, polished games that I feels bad calling them slop. Like Peak is not a slop game, you know? I remember there's I forgot who it was. I think it was Circle Tunes. It was a YouTuber that talked about like friend slop games, and they were just like, I think we should coin a new term for them, and I think he called them friend light. And I was like, I like that term way more. I want to start calling them friend light, but if I say that, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So I gotta normalize it. Like, hey, like these are friend light games, you know? These are games that you gotta gather the friends for. I guess the part of the problem with that though is that it might meet together with whatchamacallit, with like co-op games like It Takes Two and stuff, which by the way I still want to play. Split Fiction and It Takes Two, those two games I still want to play. I feel like I'm already planning on playing It Takes Two with like people, or like with a person and now people. But never ended up happening. I made a game for my BF last week. Oh, nice. Well done. It was really simple, but I struggled a lot. I see game development in a different light now. It's so hard to make them. Yeah. And they're like seeing so many people like it puts into perspective just how much money are being put into making games nowadays, especially for AAA studios. And it makes me realize like the solo devs, like Toby Fox making Undertale, for example, or there are like other examples of games that whatchamacallit, that have been made with only one developer. I can't think of it often. There's like Animal Well, I think that's one. A couple of others, but there's like a few. Oh, Lethal Company. Lethal Company is a game that was made by one person. To be fair though, it's like these are like people who are fairly experienced or willing to put in like a lot of time and effort. Like it's their main hobby is making that their game. I'm sure they like play games too, because you know, of course they do. But like very cool that you made something. That's like the hardest part, is like starting, you know, and then like actually like having people try it and stuff. Although I guess to be fair, being willing to be creative and failing, I think, is a lot easier when you write fanfics. When you have experience writing fan fictions and posting them for other people to read, it's probably easier to make stuff and like try and like being willing to fail. My issue is that I wrote fanfics, but I never like posted them anywhere. I just had them in a notebook somewhere. I think that notebook has been thrown out by now. I wrote fanfics on Wattpad. Yeah, no, I wrote mine in a notebook. Oh God, there's my emote in the game. That's so weird. I wrote mine in a personal notebook that I don't know where it is anymore, and I never actually like showed them or released them to anybody. I don't even think most of my IRL friends even know I wrote fanfic because I thought it was cringe. And to a certain degree it is, but it's also really funny and cool. So find it, make a stream. I would. Am I shameless enough to like start up a stream and be like, hey guys, these are my old fanfics of Sherlock Holmes and Watson? Featuring Sherlock Holmes and Watson? Or like, what else did I do? I didn't do Naruto Sasuke because I wasn't into Naruto for some time. What else did what other I'm trying to remember what other fanfics I did. Oh, I did Percy and Nico from Nico D'Angelo from Percy Jackson. I did Percy and Nico because that was a thing. Kind of. that was one thing I did. That should probably tell you just how freaking nerdy I was back in high school. And it was like totally just for fun because I do like Percy and Annabeth a lot as like a couple. I think they have a very nice like dynamic overall. But the idea of like, I think I was infected in the mind or something. The idea of like Percy being with a kid, like a dude, I guess. I don't know, it was weird. I had a phase. I had a very interesting phase. I don't regret it though. I think it like made me a lot more creative nowadays. You had a clear pattern. Not necessarily. I did like normal couples too, but it wasn't. Is it still considered fanfic if you do like already existing canon like relationships? Because I did Aang and Katara, but it was like here's the thing, being the way that I am, my fanfics were like dates basically. They weren't like super racy or anything. I wasn't doing smut. I was really just I was doing like vanilla fanfic, I guess, or like me doing like hypothetical situations and stories that I enjoyed. So I would like read a story and I would be like, this would be a cool, like interesting situation that I could write and see how it goes. Was I really good? Was I good at it? I don't think so, but like I tried. And it just happens to be that like hypothetical situations involving like romance are pretty funny. And well, I say funny, but I think I was genuinely interested in it when I was writing them. I think I did one for Teen Titans too. I know, like, it was really funny because I was talking to some coworkers at my other job, the one where I was a swim instructor, and some of my coworkers there were also huge fanfic heads, and so we just spent like some of our time whenever we could just talking about this kind of stuff. It was really funny. They were they got into it because I remember part of the thing that happened was the movie Lightning Bolts came out. Is it called Lightning Bolt? It was like the Marvel was it Marvel? I don't even remember. It was Marvel. It was like the superhero thing regarding like, you know, like the younger like superheroes and a team. And within that team there were like a whole bunch of different like younger characters and stuff. And they said that they were watching or they were reading fanfic involving those characters, and I was like nice. Who's your favorite superhero? Do I even have one? I think part of the problem right now is that like my a lot of the stuff I see is like video game focused. So like I see Marvel Tokon, which is a fighting game for about like Marvel characters that released like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then there's Marvel Rivals. I don't even like follow Marvel Rivals at all because I don't really care much for the game itself. But like those games are kind of what made me come more interested. Actually, that's not even true. I've been following like some comic series for a while, but like to be honest with you, like it's more out of just like exposure, because I think the hero that I've seen the most of is Spider-Man. And like I just like Peter Parker as a, like, or I like Spider-Man as a character. And so I've seen like, I haven't like actually read comics, but I've had like people like talk to me about various comics, or I've like read summaries of comics because I don't know where to frickin' start. So like the actual answer is like probably Spider-Man, but not like the Marvel MCU Spider-Man, not like the whatchamacallit, like the Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, like Tobey Maguire, not like those Spider-Mans, but like the actual like comic book Spider-Man. But I don't know, I'd be willing to like look into different like superheroes and stuff more. I think Batman is pretty cool, but like I feel like it depends on his writer. You know, Nightwing, yes, one of the Robins. Oh, what was the name again? Like his actual name? I actually can't remember, but I do know Nightwing, and I also know somebody who like simps over Nightwing. So I assume that's where you're coming from. that's what I assume you're coming from. There was like a comic shop that I went to, and they had like, I went with that friend, and they were basically just looking for like Nightwing comics and stuff, and they found one and they bought it, and I was like, good for you. They were like gushing over like the panels and stuff and how pretty he looked, and that was it. And I was like, all right, nice. But yeah, I do know Nightwing. I forgot. Yeah, I actually can't remember like the actual name, which probably puts me out as a fraud. Like I don't know better. I don't know who this person is. My internet is so bad right now. Aw, I'm sorry. My apologies. You're not missing much though. What are we doing? Not much, to be honest with you. Okay. I'm getting so much fertilizer that like, oh wait, speaking of fertilizer, I should probably fertilize this, huh? That would be a good idea. I'm a farmer, I have work to do. We're all farmers on Farming Friday. We're all trying our best here. Funnily enough, MX, the way this works, it's not like the moment you join, and like I don't set a timer so that like people like there's a way to like make it so people, if you're inactive for a certain amount of time, like you are immediately kicked off the farm. I've made it 999, which means the moment you say join, like you will, even if you leave the stream, you will just be working on the farm indefinitely until I end the stream, or until I like close the game, I guess. So I've had people like show up and like they're just still in the farm, but they've left like hours ago, and I'm like, cool. They were with us in spirit. I think Carrots probably would have wanted to join before he left, but he has his own problems to deal with, so I hope he's doing better with his headache. And I also hope it's not that serious. Yeah, I probably do want to change this right side a little bit, because I want this side to be like the ranch, but I also want like there to be some crops here, and the reason being that I want these crops specifically to be like lower tier crops that are very like, that cost less and are very efficient, so that I can feed my animals with them. As you can see, they're eating like cabbage here. So that's the reason why I want this set up. This is like just for like making food for the animals here. Like I even have a cat who helps carry stuff sometimes. I can't upgrade the cat though, because they're like a person. They're biological. Meanwhile, my guy over here is hard at work trying to upgrade everything. Poor guy. He still got so much work to do. Look at all these little bots. I actually really like the harvest bots. They're just little like spiders. Look at them. They're adorable. This game is really, really cute. I like this game a lot. Yeah, I don't even know if I count myself as a part of like a fanfic fandom at all, because again, I never uploaded anything online. I just like had it in a notebook. If I did find the notebook though, and like if I were to read it and I didn't feel too cringe, like I'm shameless enough to read it and be like, or I'm confident in myself rather enough to look at it and be like, that's pretty funny that I did that as a kid, and then like actually be able to share it with other people at this point, like I think I'd be down to do something like that. That, or maybe I should hit up some, I know, oh, so one of my VTuber friends, Rin, who I did a collab with yesterday, he was saying how he was doing a subathon, right? Because he's on the grind and stuff. And he was saying, like, he was talking about like different things that he could do, like goals and milestones that he could do for like for each milestone rather. And I was like, you know what, if you need somebody, he was like talking about how like people were asking him to like read fan fiction or something, and I was like, you know what, Rin, if you ever need someone to write you a fan fiction involving yourself and somebody else, say less. Message me, I got you, bro. I don't even know if it'll be that good. Yeah, hit me up, I got you. I'll involve, just like give me names. Give me names, let me do some research on what kind of person they are. I'll if they're both male, like it's pretty easy to clock someone as an uke or a seme in the world of BL. And if otherwise, I'm sure I could make something both wholesome or racy. It depends on who's involved. I know, wait, who is the uke on Watson and Sherlock? I guess that's a good question. I think because Watson's like a man of like who works in the military, right? And like he has a wife too, technically. So I think he's like gonna be the more uke than Sherlock. Like logically, the logical brain in my head is like, I think he would be the uke because he has a wife. He's a little bit more repressed, I think. Like he's a little bit more shy about this whole relationship, while Sherlock is the one that's like pushing for it. But on the flip side, yeah, I would say Watson logically, but on the flip side, there's a part of me that like would like kick my legs like a you know, like lie on my bed on my belly, start kicking my legs to see like Sherlock start fumbling, you know, because like his whole thing is being like always in control and like, you know, like deducing things and like being very calm, cool, collected. There's the idea of Watson kabedoning Sherlock and him getting shy. That's like, you know. I just don't think Watson has it in him to do it, you know? It would have to be like something else. I think it would have to be like pre-marriage Watson. It would have to be like Watson that just came out of the military, met Sherlock, and was just like, I need to break this man, you know? I think that's the vibe if it's the other way around. But I think logically speaking, it would make more sense for Watson to be uke. Yeah, he is too sweet. That is true. But I think this is why fanfic is great. You just write it. Who cares? Canon be danged. Darn the canon. We're doing it because we're here to like share stories and then kick our tiny little feet in the air and then kya collectively, you know? Yeah, no canon here. No canon here. I'm sure there's like a ton of fanfic for like Harry and Hermione, for example, because I'm sure a lot of people were like, the two nerds are gonna get together, or like the nerd looking guy and like the nerdy girl. Although maybe I shouldn't touch too much upon the Harry Potter fandom because that's its own like can of worms. I actually don't even like Harry Potter that much personally, because I've read books, or I've read like the first book and I didn't like it that much, so I like dropped it. What's your favorite trope? Like generally or like romantically? Like, are we talking like what's your favorite like rom-com trope, like enemies to lovers, or are we talking like what's your favorite general trope, like isekai? I think my answer changes depending on what the context is. If it's like my favorite, okay, I guess we're talking about tropes, not genres. So, okay, both. Okay, romantically, I know a lot of people love enemies to lovers a lot. I like enemies to lovers as well. I don't think it's my favorite. I think my favorite is if it's written really well, childhood friends. There's a lot of like not great things when it comes to, I feel like a lot of stories involving childhood friends end up being like love triangles and then they end up getting shoved to the side. But like if it's written really well, I really like childhood friends. But I think that's like, it has to be written pretty well. And like the stories generally are going to be a lot more vanilla, I guess, compared to like enemies to lovers, because enemies to lovers is always going to be drama. There's going to be something weird going on, which is why I understand why people like it a lot. But I think after you read like your 5th, 6th, 7th enemies to lovers story, they can be kind of samey to a certain degree. They hit similar beats. Yeah, it's hard to find childhood friends written well, but if it's like written well, then I think it can be pretty good. I'm trying to think of a story off the top of my head that did a good childhood friends like setup. I can't think of any. This is the problem with me reading a lot of stuff, and I can't think of anything in particular. Like the first thing that pops into my head is If My Heart Had Wings, which is a visual novel. It's not even like a story. And I don't even think the childhood friends route is like that great. I think the other routes generally are better. But I just really like the dynamic between the main character and like their childhood friend. I just really like that dynamic. But I think it's a different thing for like between like a story and then a dynamic, you know? I think that can be different. So I don't know. I guess like if I can find a well-written childhood friends, that'll be my favorite. If it's not, if we're talking like, what do I feel safest with? What am I currently reading? What am I currently reading? I think idiot plots are kind of dumb. I think they're fun for a little bit, and if it drags on, idiot plots are kind of infuriating and really annoying. I think love triangles, for the most part, are like that. Love triangle is probably like the sloppiest genre in romance, like period. Oh, I don't know if this has like a genre name, but I do know that I do really like this dynamic when it's written in a very specific way, and that's like master servant. I think master servant is really good, but it has to be written well. Like I don't like master servant if it's like the master is like the person in the like employing the person, you know, when that person is being like very annoying, you know. It doesn't, I like it a lot when it's like kind of mutual, you know. I think those dynamics can be really, really interesting, actually. I think that might be my favorite now that I think about it. I think that dynamic is really, really nice. Whether it be like either gender like works. Like if it's like a maid servant, like a female servant, or like a butler. I think what made me think about it is shoot, what was that? there's a manga that turned into an anime, and it's like a very cute like romance story. It's like the male character was like turned into a butler, and they were like serving the female lead, and they're like trying to like learn the dynamic and stuff. I forgot what it was called, but that was a really, really good manga. And I haven't watched the anime, but I heard people like the anime. I don't remember what it was called though. I think Master Servant is really good though. I do really like that dynamic. That plus, I think it like breaks up. If it's in a modern setting, it kind of breaks up a lot of like modern norms that piss me off. I think school life isn't like super interesting, but also like there's only so many like, I guess, locations that you can have like a consistent romance like drama story. School is just such an easy way to do it, so I can't even get mad at like writers doing it. And the workplace, but like I think generally speaking, workplace drama is more annoying than endearing, to be honest with you. Like, if like something weird is going on at a place that I'm working at, I'm just gonna ignore it. So it feels a lot less interesting to me for workplace drama or drama. So it has to be like very particular for like locations and stuff. And I think I'll leave. I'm not saying they're bad, because like I think it can be done really well. It's like isekai, you know? I like isekai a lot because it's really sloppy and there's like a lot of dumb things that can happen. It's kind of same with like rom-com for like Ore Monogatari. I think that's a really funny school like romance story, like manga anime. Ore Monogatari is great. I love that show. That was the one I was watching anime. Ore Monogatari is great. I love school romance. And like, oh, Love is War. I think that one is really good. I think Love is War is great. There are ways for it to be done well. It's just, I think it can be overdone. That's all. But I think it can be really good. Like Toradora is like a classic. Toradora is great. That kind of stuff is really, really good. But I'm saying, like, what I'm trying to say is that like master servant relationships can kind of like break the mold a little bit, because they can happen in a school setting, but like it kind of changes the dynamic a little bit, because it's no longer like just between classmates. There's more going on there, you know? But it can also take place in all sorts of other things. Like it can be in a fantasy setting, it can be a modern setting, it can be, I don't know. I'm overthinking it. My favorite general trope, I have to remember, it's not genre, I'm talking about tropes. I'll tell you one of my guilty pleasure animes. I'm gonna shade that I like it too much. I'll tell you my guilty pleasure web novel. It's a manga, and I think it has an anime adaptation. It's called I think I've talked about this before actually, MX. I don't know if I talked about this on stream a couple times, but it's like at this point I don't even know if I'm ashamed that I like it. I like it a lot. It's called let me see. I have it on my phone because I've been rereading it. I was summoned to another world that's already at peace. That's not the exact wording. I'm trying to open it up, but my internet is being annoying. I was caught up in a hero summoning, but that world is at peace. That's what it's called. It has a manga and an anime adaptation, but if you've read the manga or watched the anime and you thought it was okay, trust me, the web novel is so good. The web novel is so much better. It's so much better than everything. I'm telling you right now, it's so good. Okami Shoujo to Kuro Oji? Wolf Girl and the Black Prince? Wait, write the name? Yeah, you're right, give me a second. It's a harem, by the way, so there is that. So there's a web novel for it. It's free on a website called Foxaholic. I don't know if it's free everywhere. Kaicho wa Meido-sama. Kaicho wa Meido-sama is great. Kaicho wa Meido-sama is really, really good. That I do like that show. Or when I watched it, I enjoyed Kaicho wa Meido-sama. I don't think I've seen Okami Shoujo though. There's like a different Okami Shoujo that I've seen. It's not called Okami Shoujo though. It's called something else. I forgot what it was. But I assume it's a different thing. Don't watch it, Lamau. I'm embarrassed. Wait, no, I did watch it. Wait, is this? Wait a second. I think I have seen this. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, I'm thinking about a different one, I think. I'm thinking about a different one. Oh, yeah, no, I'm thinking about a different one. The one I'm thinking about is called My Little Monster. This crap is freaking hilarious. For some reason, I saw this and I thought, is this My Little Monster? But no, it's not. It's different. Yeah, I actually have not seen this. A girl's bizarre acquaintance with a popular boy leads to a long-term relationship. Don't watch it. I haven't watched anime in a while anyways. I mostly read manga and like light novels, web novels nowadays. But yeah, I've never seen this before. For some reason, when I saw it, that was My Little Monster. And I think My Little Monster is great, so. Actually, funnily enough, no, never mind. My Little Monster released 2012. Wolf Girl and Black Prince released in 2014. So I was thinking about an even older show. Great. Good job, me. I'm nerdier than I thought. I'm checking it out. Well, the one that I sent. It's a harem. And it's not, I think objectively speaking, it's not great. It's an isekai harem. But like, I love the characters so much. They actually spend a lot of time on all the characters in the web novel. Not so much as much in the anime and the manga, but in the web novel, they like flesh out all the characters a lot. And I really like the characters and I really like the relationships with the main character. Main character, I don't like as much, I don't think. But he has his moments. But like, it's specifically the web novel of this that I really like. And a lot of it has to do with whatchamacallit. A lot of it has to do with the afterwards, because in web novels, the author tends to like talk a little bit at the end of each chapter, and like starting like after a certain point, the afterwards shifts to like a podcast between like two characters, like one character who's like in the story, and then another character who just like hates everything about what's going on, and they're basically just going like, bro, why is this just a freaking harem? Like, I just want something serious to happen. Like, I want like interesting plot developments. Like, I just want like something really serious and cool. And they were just like, nah, here's some more romance sugar just being like shoved down your throat. It's amazing. Imagine Twilight, but it's bad, but it's one of my comfort movies. I look at these isekais like that. Okay. Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, MX. We've already talked about how great Twilight is if you watch it with the idea that it's a comedy, you know? I think Twilight is really bad if you treat it like as a serious like romance like piece of media. But the moment you look at it with through the lens that like this is gonna be a comedy, it's so good. It's so good. Twilight is amazing. It is great. I believe that though. My most watched anime of all time, I think I've watched this show like 6, 8, 9 times, something like that, is it's called The Ambition of Oda Nobunaga. It's basically like a historical like anime about the shogun period, but all of like the major historical figures have been gender swapped. So like it's called Oda Nobunaga because like Oda Nobunaga, who's like the person who united Japan, has been replaced with this chick, and the main character goes back in time and he like makes them fall in love with him and stuff. And I've watched this show like 6 times. It's not bad. I don't think it's not bad, I don't think, but it's not good either. And I've watched it so many times, like I don't even know why. It's actually, this show is the reason that I started reading novels, or it's one of the reasons I started reading novels, because it's only 12 episodes and like the light novel for it kept going. It was this show and Campione that made me like drop or not drop anime, but to like start like looking for novels, because like they didn't finish. What got me into manga was Reborn, because Reborn was one of the first anime, actually no, it is the first anime I've watched, and like I didn't know that it continued in manga, so I started reading the manga and I like regretted not reading it sooner, because this was like years later. But I did start reading light novels because of Campione, which by the way, I just got rage baited by Campione. I didn't like it, the show, when it released. I just read it because I was like, surely there's no way this interesting of a concept does not get better. And it doesn't get better. Well, okay, sort of. I think some aspects of it got better and then other aspects got worse. I have like a whole like rant about shows like Campione though, like holy frick. Because let me try and like sell you something, okay? There is a show, right? So imagine there's an anime show, right? And the concept, and like the main character, the whole like the show is called Campione, which in Italian means God Slayer. And the premise of the show is that like gods exist, like gods of mythology, like every single one of them, and like some of them just exist and don't do anything, and some of them cause major problems in modern day. So sometimes these gods will fight each other, they'll just cause problems, they'll vanish, like whatever. Sometimes a human will be able to like kill one of these gods through like various means, and if you do, you gain their abilities. It's called like divinity or something. I forgot what it's called, but you like gain that god's specific powers, and you become a god slayer. And like every god you kill, you like become stronger because you gain their abilities. And so the main character at the very beginning is sent to Italy because he like within his family there's this like old grimoire, this like book that like his like parents like needed to like give back to like this person. So like he decides, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go to Italy, I'm gonna return this book. So he goes, and there's this like huge event that happens where a couple of gods start fighting each other, causing a huge problem, and the person he's delivering the book to is like this powerful witch who like donated the book. So he basically uses the power in the book to trick one of the gods. So like the ability of the book is like it can like reflect like a spell back or something. I forgot the specific. Basically, he tricked one of the gods to attack him, and he killed like the more powerful of the two gods and took their powers. And the god he took is Verithragna, which I think is the Celtic god of victory. A god of victory, something like that. I actually looked this up later, and they are considered to be the god of victory. And like Verithragna as a god is interesting because the way Verithragna's authorities, that's what it's called. The way their authority works is that they have 10 different abilities, all of which are like very like some of them very pretty straightforward like abilities, which makes them like one of the most powerful gods, but each ability is locked behind some sort of prerequisite. So like you have to do something in order to gain access to this ability. So for example, one of them is the camel, which is you gain insane leg strength, like an incredible amount of leg strength. like supernatural levels, but you have to sustain like a certain amount of damage. Like someone like stabs you like in like the stomach or something, then you can use this ability. He has like a bunch, like, and he has like 10 of these abilities. And the most powerful of his abilities is the golden sword, which is the more knowledge you have about your opponent, the more damage that the golden sword can do to the opponent. It's like a sword of words, basically. Like the more knowledge, the more like mythos you know about like the god authority you're fighting against, like the more powerful the sword becomes against that specific entity. This is the premise of the show. The main character gets the authorities of the god of victory, and he starts getting like caught up in other gods and other god killers, like other campion god slayers. There's like a whole bunch of things that are going on. So there's a point in the show, right, where the main character is just like, I don't know who this god is. Like, we're about to fight this god, I don't know who they are. And they're like, okay, I guess we have to like find out more about them in order to like learn. And then like the female heroine, right, she's just like, oh, this particular god has a lot of information to them. It would take you years of studying to understand this god enough for you to kill them with the sword. On the bright side, however, there is a way for me to transfer information to you. There's a spell that lets me transfer like the knowledge I have of this god directly into your brain. Do you want to know what this spell requires? Like a very specific thing. Do you want to know what that specific thing is to like transfer information to another person is? And this is where the show like actually, or not where the show, but this like happens like at literally episode 1. It's French kissing. Technically you could do it through kissing, but apparently the more tongue you use, the faster the information transfers. Yeah. The show is not an investigative like mystery, you know? Imagine the show was like a mystery, like you figure out the god in question. There's like other aspects and facets of the gods that you fight. Like one of the first gods the main character fights is Athena, and like in this fictional world of this version of Athena, they also have the powers of Medusa, because like there's like some mythology that involves the two together. And so like that could be something that would be interesting to find out. Like main character like stumbles into a library, they like talk to some people and they're just like, oh yeah, there's like a story involving like Athena and Medusa and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like there's like this show upsets me so much because the idea is so interesting. The main character probably has like the most interesting like a god and ability to have to like push the story forward, but instead of like, you know, pushing forward with like the idea of like all like these interesting aspects that you have, you decide to make it into a ecchi harem, in which case the main character is collecting women that have like their own specific knowledges about specific mythos. Like one of the girls, they like mostly specialize in like Greek like mythology, and there's like a shrine maiden girl who specializes in Japanese like Shinto mythology, and he has to collect them all like Pokemon so he can get the information he needs about the specific gods. And then every fight ends with him kissing a girl and then releasing the golden sword and then like destroying them, and it was really sad. And I was like, there's no way this gets worse. Surely this gets better. This concept freaking like rules. And then I read the web novel, and in some ways it does get better because they include the idea that not just like gods are creatures that you can kill to be a champion, but also like heroes. So like Perseus shows up like as like a god that causes problems, and the main character has to kill Perseus and like learn and like the way they like mixed mythology was really interesting. Wasted potential. It could have been like, such a good show. I know. There's a show that's even worse than this though. It's I didn't even finish it. It's called what the frick was What was the full name of this show? Here, let me sell you a different show. So there's a world where people exist in which case their abilities are that they get to control one element of the periodic table and they have full control over it. Like they can increase or decrease the heat. They can like change like specific parts of that particular element, but it has to stay as that like pure element, right? And like basically the main character who one of the main characters I should say, who controls iron. Like iron is their thing. And basically they were wronged by the person who controls gold, and they're basically trying to hunt down this person and try and kill them. And like all of the fights in this show is genuinely incredibly interesting. Like the person who controls magnesium like basically like sets their own magnesium on fire because it has like a very or like the way it's like melting point works. I forgot the exact details, but basically they like set their magnesium on fire and just like spread them like ashes, and just like they basically like control like these like metallic bits of fire that like rains down. It's very interesting. And like obviously having control over some elements is like way more OP than others. Like the person who controls oxygen was just like the worst matchup for the guy who controlled iron because they just rusted everything they try to do. Like the main character fights by like turning any iron they have into like a scythe or like a sword or something. And then like the person that controls oxygen was just like constantly like turning their stuff into rust, because that's how that works. Like it's basically just a whole bunch of different like chemical reactions and how the characters like weave their fights in such a way to like take as much advantage of their element compared to the other. So like there's a fight between titanium and lead, of which case titanium is a girl who uses like this huge sword, like this massive sword, and like the person who controlled lead was basically just like a sniper. They were just shooting them, and the whole thing was that like lead is soft, incredibly soft compared to titanium, but titanium is a lot more brittle. So if they just keep shooting the sword, eventually it'll crack. There's not a lot of like flexibility to titanium. So the thing about these ability users, right, is that in order to control their element, they need a like energy source to keep doing it. Otherwise they'll like, it's like mana. They run out, they won't be able to control it as well anymore. So this like energy is called quasar, and they basically every single time they like fight and stuff, they basically have to constantly like fuel up on quasar, and the purity of the quasar can help increase their ability to control their element. It's a pretty cool show, actually. Genuinely, the fight scenes are really, really interesting, and it's the only reason why I kept watching it. Because do you know where this quasar comes from? Do you know where this energy source, this ever beloved, powerful energy source comes from? The one of which the main villain of the show, the person who controls gold, is basically trying to like create a fountain, or like a way for them to get like never-ending high-quality quasar. It's breast milk. Sort of, not quite, but like you suck it out of another woman's teat. That's where it comes from. And one of the characters in this show, they control copper. She basically grooms another woman to be able to feed her quasar whenever she would. It's so bad. It's awful. It's so bad. It's so awful. Who wrote this? I wish I could tell you. There's 2 seasons of it too, by the way. And so like the main character is not so I say like part with like some of the main characters, it's kind of like Lucy from Fairy Tail, where like technically the protagonist of Fairy Tail is Lucy, but like everyone knows that the actual main character is Natsu. But like basically it's the same idea where like the guy who controls iron is technically the main character, but it's all from the perspective of this other like girl that like encounters him while he's fighting. And the girl's best friend is this chick with like the biggest hadonkers, like badonkers you've ever seen, and apparently she just has the best quasar in the entire universe. And like the person who controls gold, their goal is to take over the body of the chick with the big badonkers and then suck their own breath to get infinite quasar, because that's how big her badonkers are. Oh god, it's awful, it's so bad. It's like those like Campione and Seiko no Quasar, I think that's what's called, I forgot the exact title, but those two shows are like the epitome of examples of fan service ruined these shows, and we'll never be able to get anything as like a similar interesting idea, because they have really good ideas behind them. Like I think the way they like weaved the various mythologies of gods into Campione to like make the deities a lot more interesting, even if you already knew what they were, it was cool. Like to see like these like gods twisted in a way where they have abilities outside of what you would expect them to, but it like kind of makes sense. And in Quasar, like the fights were genuinely really interesting and inspired. Like I learned about elements and how like different elements like interact with one another. It was really interesting. Like I mentioned how like the iron guy was fighting the oxygen person, and like it was an awful matchup because every time they try to do something with iron, they would just rust away the iron. So what did the guy do? He basically treated his iron so that when they like spent a couple of days treating their iron to like make a sword, so that when the person tries to rust his sword, it turns into stainless steel, so which can't rust anymore, at least not through just oxygen. And so they were able to like figure out a way through like different chemical reactions to be able to fight oxygen, which was so interesting. It's such an interesting idea. And it didn't matter in the end, unfortunately. No more cucumber. You did get a new crop here. What do we get? Zucchini. Okay, so then what we do is we take our zucchini. We actually want one of these things to be zucchini, and then we replace the 2 cucumbers with zucchini. So I'm allowed to talk more about this, but I have to go. You don't have to apologize, MX. It's always nice to see you around. You'll always be able to catch me at another point. You're good though. Thanks for stopping by, MX. Always appreciated. You'll be here in spirit in the farm. Unless you want to leave, you can do that too. With exclamation point leave. Dave, another service stream. Yeah. You too. Always appreciated. Goodbye. Have a great day. Oh my god, I'm just tilted thinking about those two shows. Those two shows like tilt me. Like the perfect example of shows that fan service actively ruins. I don't have an inherent problem with fan service, generally speaking. Obviously, I think in a lot of situations, fan service makes things worse. But I think in some shows, funnily enough, fan service does add like a layer of comedy to it. Like, I think everyone knows about High School DD. I have watched the first 2 or 3 seasons. I can't remember. I have watched a few seasons of High School DD because I think it's pretty dang funny. there's some bits in there that are really cringe and just like kind of funny, and the main character like just like is unapologetic about everything. I think it's also why I like Trinity 7, because Trinity 7 is a harem like show, but the main character is so unapologetically perverted that like it's just like almost endearing. It's annoying but endearing too. So it's kind of like, well, isn't this kind of interesting? And it's like kind of funny. People like lewd jokes and stuff. So there's like, what show is it? There's like a show that was like pervertedness has been like outlawed, and so like the cover girl is a chick with like panties over her face, and she just like goes around like spreading like porn mags everywhere. That show is pretty not great, but it's also really funny. It has spawned like a meme in the anime community of something particularly awful. I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't even think I mean, I probably could talk about it, but I shouldn't. But it is something else, that's for sure. It is something else. So I think to a certain degree, like that or ludity can be kind of interesting. Even in like horror, I think it can be like body horror stuff. It can be kind of interesting. You know, like Silent Hill 2. That's like a very good example of like, I don't even know if you could call it fan service. I mean, very clearly some people think it's hot. I don't get it, but sure. But I guess it also comes into play with like, how people perceive that kind of thing, because obviously there are a lot of people with different tastes. Because like there's a card, or in Legends of Runeterra, so League of Legends, I'm talking about League of Legends, hahaha. There's a character they're like demons in this series, and each and every single one like represents some sort of like emotion of like what that they like feed on. And there is one that feeds off of pleasure, named Evelyn. She's like she's like basically a succubus. She's like a demonic seductress and temptress who like lures people into debauchery, but not necessarily in the ways that you might think. Like they don't like just like lure people like for sexy like hanky panky times, but rather they literally like lure people with the temptation of like lust, and then they gain their pleasure through torture. So they like do these like terrible things to their victims, like once they actually get them like within their grasp. And like she has like two different forms. She has like a more humanoid form, or like more like demon / humanoid form. They don't exactly look human, but kind of. And then they have a form where they look very demon like, and it's like this demon like form that is like kind of terrifying to look at, but I also know some people that are like, that's kind of hot. And I'm like, dude, that's freaking terrifying. But it's like the way that they like use their like sexuality by like utilizing fan service while also being terrifying, that I guess like terrifies some people more than appeals, if at all. And some people are, you know, more inclined to be attracted to it. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the kind of people that Evelyn feeds on anyways, so good for her, I guess. I don't know. Fan service is just a really interesting topic, just generally speaking. Outside of just the who cares, I like sexy things, or like I hate it because like it's just not very good. I think there's like a genuinely interesting conversation that can be made around fan service that unfortunately I don't know that many people I can have. I guess that's why I stream, so that I could have these conversations. Or I guess I'm just talking to the void at this point, but yeah. But don't get me wrong, there are definitely clear situations where fan service ruins it. But to be fair, Campione and Quasar are like just a yapper. I mean, that's all streamers though. Also, High Vision, what's up? I hope I hope your collab yesterday, the one after ours, worked out well. You got a decent amount of rest. Hope your insomnia isn't affecting you as much, and if it is, I hope it improves. I hope that you can get your a proper night's sleep one of these days. Some, yeah, nice. Proud of you. But yeah, that's that was that, I guess. Dang, it's already been an hour in the stream. What the fudge happened? Talking with nerds is great. I say that like I'm calling MX a nerd. I mean, we are, but like, I feel like some people actually take offense to the term. But like, for me, calling someone like a dork or a nerd is way more affectionate than like derisive, you know? Is that the right word? I think that's the right word. Because I think there's like a point, I think, where like passion can get a little annoying, or like when someone's so passionate about something and it like something is like their whole personality. I think like to a certain degree that can be annoying, but like people who really express their enjoyment and passion for certain things and it doesn't like take away from other aspects of their personality, that's like really endearing in a person. It's like my favorite thing is to try and get someone to yap about like their favorite thing and just listening, even if I personally don't care about it. Actually, that's not necessarily true. I think there are like a couple things that if people were really passionate about it and they want to yap about it, that my eyes would like 100% glaze over because I stopped caring. Of which case, one of those things is sports. Like basketball, football, that kind of stuff. I just can't get myself to care about it, which is probably a bit of a hypocritical perspective, since I watch esports. Like I watch like fighting game stuff, like 2XKO, Street Fighter, mostly Street Fighter that I think about nowadays. I used to watch a lot of Guilty Gear Strive, but I think nowadays it's mostly Street Fighter. I do watch StarCraft 2. Dude, I love watching StarCraft 2. There's a period of time where like watching StarCraft 2 was like a bit much because yeah, there's like a big knowledge check. But now I freaking love watching StarCraft. It is so interesting watching like people play and like understanding what their thought processes are. Gumiho, my goat. Actually, one of my favorite players is Dark, but they are currently doing they're Korean. They're currently doing their military service, so they are not currently playing, unfortunately. But I do follow StarCraft 2, not like incredibly closely. Like I don't watch tournaments from beginning to end, but I do watch like casts of certain games. One of my favorite YouTube channels, like a few years back, especially during COVID, was SC2HL, or like StarCraft 2 highlights. They don't upload anymore, but they essentially like took casts from like major games and they cut it down. They cut it down and put like the interesting, important parts that happen in the game. And like it was so good. I spent so much time watching SC2HL during like COVID and stuff, and now they don't post anymore, which I guess is fair because they posted like when SC2 was still getting like a ton of support from Blizzard, and they stopped getting like some support. I forgot the exact details, but they like dropped a couple things for StarCraft 2. Like they aren't like running certain tournaments anymore, and a lot of people I guess I mean I assume the person running the channel still like watches StarCraft. They just don't make the videos anymore, which is fair. Maybe they're like making highlights of other things, like I don't know, VTubers or something, which is its own like rabbit hole, I suppose. All right, let's start spending our infinite money. because boy oh boy do we still have a lot of money. Although again, upgrading all of our bots is gonna take some time. I had to click through every single one, which is actually kind of funny because we actually have way less drones here in this world compared to my main. That's not what I meant to upgrade. That's awkward. The goal is to upgrade the one which has less than the other, because there's usually two. So this is like capacity. There's less capacity than speed. I upgrade it. There's barely. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't really matter, but it's how I just like pick and choose basically. Oh my god, I ran out of money. Impossible. Oh, it's a good thing I have infinite money. I actually there's like a 2xKO tournament thing when it was going on last night. There's like a weekly called TNS, Tampa Never Sleeps. They run like a bunch of different fighting games every week. They have like a set like schedule, so they always run 2xKO every Thursday. They run Street Fighter every Wednesday, and then they have some where they like, you know, add other games. But they were running 2xKO last night, and I joined the 2xKO Discord because there are some people there making like really good runs. Like they made top 8, and like people were cheering them on in the Discord. And a lot of them are also talking about, you know, the fact that 2xKO got announced as stopping immediate development. And from like the vibes that I was getting there, everyone was pretty much just like, yeah, there's nothing else left. Like the game's over. There's no way Riot is gonna like go back on the word, even if like the game does incredibly well in the coming few months. The fact that they're announcing this now instead of later is quite telling for a lot of them, which is fair. And it was like a perspective I didn't really think about. Like, yeah, they did announce they're pulling the plug on 2xKO like weeks in advance. Like, there's still quite a bit of time, I think, where things can still be done with the game before they have to like announce completely pulling the plug. But they're doing it like now. It made like my hopes that like eventually the game will like restart in a couple of years, like really die down. I think like I was coping. No, I definitely was coping that the game will continue to get some support like sometime down the line. But I think I should, even if it does get support in the future, there's no point, I don't think, in me expecting it. Like if it happens, that'd be cool. But it is highly likely that 2xKO is going to be dying. I guess technically it has been, but I think like by the end of this year, the player base is gonna drop sharply. I honestly think just their announcement has made quite a few players stop playing it, which isn't great. They are refunding money though. I've spent $100 on the game because, you know, I've spent $70 for Monster Hunter Wilds, and like that game disappointed me, and 2xKO is free and I've been playing a ton of it, so I was like, I'll drop money for it, sure, for some cosmetics and crap to support my game, my favorite game of the year. And you know, in the end the game didn't do well. In the end the game dropped off the face of the planet. Or okay, that's a bit, I'm being a bit dramatic there, but the game's gonna stop active development. There's not gonna be much else left to add to it. And that's kind of it, unfortunately. So I'm still gonna play it, at least for the rest of this year. Next year, I am not sure. There's actually quite a few games out there that haven't had like much development after a certain point, and they like, people still play it. Obviously, there's like Discord servers and crap for it. But at the same time, like, very clearly their player base is dwindling. There aren't that many people playing it, and like to get games, you pretty much just have to join the Discord server and ask people for matches, you know, which sucks. It's definitely my favorite game. I'm still yapping about this. I already had like my whole thing yesterday, but I think like talking to some people more about it last night like really put into perspective for me that like it's over. We're donezo. There's no more 2xKO. Like it's a done deal. There's nothing else, nothing more to it, for better or for worse. I did see like a few like videos of other people, like other fighting game people talking about it, and the general gist of everything was, yeah, it makes sense. The writing was on the wall, of which case I agree. And they were saying how like the game's release was bad, which is I agree. The game was release was not good. Game didn't have the right content for the right kind of people. I sort of agree with that, but like, you know, we still needed some time to get things through. My opinion is that the game just needs more characters. Give the game like a year or two of more characters, and like the game should be doing a lot better, along with like more updates to polish everything. Other people had some very interesting things in mind. Like one person talked about how bad the sound design of the game was, which I thought the sound design was not bad. There are like some aspects of the sound design in that game that I enjoyed a lot. Like certain characters hits, like the crack of echoes, like bat hitting you, that sound is really satisfying, honestly. I think like they were talking about other things like specific sounds, like when your meter bars like fills up a little bit and then there's like a sound that plays, they're like, that sound is grating and made me like not want to play the game. And I'm like, I barely even noticed that sound. Like me personally, I didn't even notice that was a thing. But like when I think back on it, I'm like, yeah, I guess there is a sound for that. So I guess there are like some things about, I mean, yeah, and the menu isn't great. I will admit, like the menu is not great. It could be better. It's not great. The UI is not. I used to like dunk on Smite, because I remember like someone tried to get me into Smite, and I remember looking at the menu, just the menu, look how god awful it looked, and just was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't feel like learning how to navigate this. I'm sure it's not that difficult. I just don't feel like learning it. And like that, like I never even played a game of Smite, even though like some people like swear by it. And like all of a sudden I'm like, I guess that's fair. The 2xKO's menu kind of isn't great either. If I was willing to like not even try Smite just because of how I didn't like the menu to look, I'm sure there might be some people who did the same with 2xKO. Because the game's presentation is not great. Even like the team fight fuse, it's so funny. The activation, animation of that fuse is so jank and ugly. And yeah, the more I think about it, the more I was like, yeah, no, I get it, actually. I still feel like the game could still exist for like maybe another year with how much money Riot like makes overall. And like, if they wanted to keep supporting it, they definitely could, but they don't. Like they clearly like don't want to support it anymore. So there's nothing much we can do at this point. The only thing that I can do, honestly, is give them money. I will purchase the Ultimates pass into XKO, which like gives me access to like all the skins and crap. I'm going to hit GM this season. I'm gonna hit GM next season. And then, well, okay, I don't know about next season, but I do want to hit GM this season, which is gonna end in like a week. So I might be playing a bunch of 2xKO next week, actually, so I could try and hit GM. And once I hit GM, I guess I'll figure something out. I guess that at that point, I'll continue Dark Souls, maybe for like one more stream before I get tilted and stop playing. But yeah, that's the journey with 2xKO is over, and I'm left with no fighting game to play. I could play Street Fighter, I guess, but like I don't even know. My problem with Street Fighter is there's not really a character I really want to play. Although I do like DJ. I have the same problem with Guilty Gear Strive. all the characters are so cool, but I don't really want to play any of them. I think Nago is like the best, the coolest character, but like I don't want to play Nago. The way they play is like I can't do that, man. I do think Kai is cool. Like I play Kai, so of course I think he's cool. But I feel like I need to learn other things. I don't know, man. I'm all over the place right now. The fact that like my favorite game of this year is gone, I think is really unfortunate for me overall. I would like it to not be gone. Good job, Cyrus. You have a way with words. Thank you. I like the game to continue to be around, but it's not. It will not be. So it is what it is. The game had its problems. I thought it would be okay. It is not. So, but like I think it does make a lot of sense. I would play ranked in like 2 different days, and I would run into the same people. So, I guess the player base is pretty limited once you reach a certain level. Right now, you know what I'm holding out for? I'm holding out that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have the next Smash game come out, and like it actually has good netcode. The fact that Ultimate doesn't have rollback sucks. And you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's like different kinds of netcode, or like the way that they deal with netcode. The one that Smash uses is delay based, which is they delay your inputs by like X amount of frames depending on how bad the connection is. And even if it's like by a couple of frames, and a frame is like a 60th of a second, even if it's like there's like a delay of like a few frames, it makes the gameplay feel way worse. Just with each and every single frame, like significantly worse. So there's only so much I can do. I want, maybe I'll go back to TFT. I need a new comfort game. I dropped TFT because I played Mechabellum, which is another auto chess game. And not gonna lie, I liked playing Mechabellum more than I liked playing TFT. The problem is Mechabellum's support is dying as like less players are playing it nowadays. But on the bright side, when you're running a game that is 1v1 for the most part, you do not need a huge player base to keep the game going. It's why like fighting games generally can get away with being more niche than other genres. It's because you like in a League of Legends game, in a CS like R6 Apex Valorant game, you need like 10 players for like the team-based ones, and for battle royales you need like how many players are in an Apex lobby? Is it 60? There's like 20 teams of 3, right? So there's like 60 players. You need minimum 60 players to get into a game of Apex. Yeah, you can have some bots, but like I think in a ranked game you need real players. It's why like I really want like games like Eternal Return to do well, but like, and like technically Eternal Return is doing well, just not in Western countries. But it's like an example of games that like some like certain types of games just need way more players playing them to like function, versus fighting games, which you only need 2 players to have a match. If you have like 1,000 players and you're playing your game and it's like a fighting game, like at one time, you're good. That game is fine, doing just fine. So I guess 2x is a little bit different because you can do 2v2s, but like at the end of the day, 2x was free to play, and they needed to they had a higher floor as to like how well they want their game to be doing. That plus is Riot. Like Riot's a big company. They want everything they do to lay them golden eggs, you know? Like Legends of Runeterra, they've kind of stopped development for that game because it wasn't making them enough money. It was such a good game that people played, and it was such a good monetary like perspective for that game that like they just didn't make any money for it. The players had fun. Like I enjoyed that game a ton, but they just couldn't get the game going, so they dropped it. I guess they're doing the same with 2xko.
I just really want them, like, oh, never mind. I don't want this stream to turn into like me just whining about stuff. That would be lame. So I'll simply just not do it. But yeah, I'll probably have to find a new comfort game for stream. But I think like with that in mind, I do need a game that'll last me a while and that has replayability to some degree. So like I was watching Ori play Stardew and I was like, that's her comfort game. I can't do it, but good for her. So I need something else to sate me once 2XKO is gone by the end of this year. Maybe like maybe if TFT. Do I really have to return to another Riot game though? I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they like sunsetted 2XKO makes me just not want to play Riot games anymore. The urge to just uninstall League has become a lot stronger over the past like day. But we'll see. I'll figure something out. Worst case, I just continue variety and just playing random stuff on stream, but like just streaming less often. Cause like part of the reason why I was able to stream as often as I have been is that I don't mind just like randomly showing up and being like, I want to play some 2XKO, and then I'll play some 2XKO, and then like Elevadia will show up and we'll play together. It is what it is. But enough whining about that. I think I gotten that off my chest. I'm still gonna keep playing the game for the rest of this year, so I have at least a year to live with the game, so that's something. But I guess on other news, next week I am going to Portugal with my family. For reasons that are frankly none of your business. But I am going to be going to Portugal. We're going to be doing some cool things. I'm only going to be gone for like not even a week. It's going to be like 5-6 days of travel or something like that. But among those days is like Friday and stuff. So I will not be around to stream for that period of time. And then we'll come back and then I'll figure something out. I think like right now is like me trying to figure out what to do next. I think like finishing up Pal World has left like a void. I have this like thing where like when I finish a game on stream, oh my god, that was an awful voice crack. I have this thing where when I finish a game on stream, how do I put it? I feel like I don't know what to do next, even though I have like a list of games, and then it becomes a lot more difficult for me to decide what to do. I think Pal World was good because I enjoyed the game a lot and like streaming it was fun. Or okay, playing the game was fun, streaming it was not that fun. There's not that much that was going on there, but we did beat the game. I'm probably gonna take a break from it and then I might play it on my own free time, just not on stream anymore. But hey, that's another game on our list of stream games that we have managed to finish, so that's good. I actually should probably put together like a list of games that I finished on stream and just like keep it for fun, I guess. I don't know. I guess we probably aren't going to do novel diving today. It's pretty slow overall, which happens. We have slow days. I think a part of it though is because school is back in session. Everyone's going back to school, so there's just gonna be less people around, which, you know, naturally makes sense. It is what it is. But yeah, I have also started throwing myself into the job market recently as well. Actually, funnily enough, I had a conversation with somebody, like a random person, about this, about like what I could do. And they said like they know a guy. So I guess I'm going to be talking to a guy that knows a guy at some point. But I know like the job market generally, at least in America, is not great. But I'm lucky in that I'm in a field where people are always wanted. So I'm not like super concerned about whether or not I can find a job. I'm more concerned about being able to find a job that like I'll be satisfied with. I don't even have to be like super happy with it or like have a lot of fun with it. I just want a job that like I'll be like able to do and I'm like, oh, this is fine. Maybe like I don't like people, maybe I don't like the job itself, but as long as it's like I can deal with it, then I should be fine. And as long as I can make enough money to make it worthwhile. But I think like some of the places that I've been applying to, if I were to get accepted, like I don't think pay is the biggest, is like a worry rather. I'll definitely keep you guys updated though, of what comes to be when it comes to my my future job and stuff. If I end up like making a decent amount of money, I'll definitely look into rebranding, and I'm still streaming, I should say. There is not a 0% chance that I'll end up graduating within the next few months. Or, okay, maybe graduating is a bit much, but going on a unknown hiatus. Yeah. But I'll definitely let people know if that ends up happening. Because unlike some people, I actually want to let people that know that whether or not I'm gonna take a long break. Who knows? Maybe I was about to say maybe a large VTuber group will take me in, but then I have to remember that they sunsetted Holo Stars, or they're in the process of doing so for Holo Live. I don't want to join Niji Sanji. I'd rather get shot in the streets. And what other like big VTuber groups are left? I feel like most of the larger VTuber groups right now are like, if they've reached a certain point, they're monogender, like they're only female for the most part. I'm sure there's like some that are doing fine in like other spaces. I just am not super knowledgeable about it anymore. So there's that. I would have to do more research on that kind of thing, but I'm not going to. I think like if I'm going to keep, okay, actually I don't even know. If I was offered, like if like Sock Productions or something, which was like a VTuber, it's like a VTuber group that's like Zentreya joined at some point, and like there's like a couple other people. If they've like offered me a position as like a talent, would I take it? Maybe. Probably. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, probably. If there's a chance I could make streaming like an actual like job, like I can make a living off of it, I'd freaking do it. You know, I think I'd do it. But I think it would suck abandoning Cyrus and all you guys for it. But at the very least, I'm marketable. I don't swear. And I mean, I talk about sus things, but like I usually try and like steer around it to a certain degree. So I can be, I think I can be PR trained as well. So I think I think we can make some things work somehow, some way, somehow. I'm about to end stream soon, actually. I think the problem is I did my Just Chatting stream yesterday. And I'm mostly doing a Just Chatting stream on Friday. Just like out of obligation because I usually do a Farming Friday stream. But I think right now, I don't have that much else to talk about. Other than, like, I can whine about 2xKO for another hour, but I don't want to do that. That kind of energy is something I'll only bring to a stream for in small quantities. I think at this point, I'd rather just talk about how much I like the game, you know? So I will say it was very funny watching a video of Brian F, who's like a pretty big fighting game personality. He was like talking about how like he didn't like 2xKO that much, but he was like, yeah, it sucks for the people who do like the game. And I'm like, that's me. He's talking about me. That's me and my people. He's talking about us. Yeah, I was like, dang. Like, I guess I am a part of a minority. I am a part of a minority, and I know there are other people who really like it, but they also like other fighting games, so I'm sure they'll like be able to find other games to play. But like, I'm not interested in the current fighting game space. I don't think. I think like just as like Hearthstone was like the online trading card game that I loved, and then they like changed it in such a way where I stopped liking it. There has been no other like trading card game that has hit me like Hearthstone has. I played Legends of Runeterra. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I've tried to get into Magic, but I'm just intimidated for no reason. I've tried Shadowverse, and I did enjoy Shadowverse actually. Shadowverse is pretty fun. But in the end, I just couldn't stick with them. Shadowverse, the problem with Shadowverse is the power level. Like the power scale of Shadowverse cards compared to Hearthstone is crazy. Cards are like super strong in Shadowverse. They have like all these like a billion abilities that make some cards like stupidly strong. And you have 20 health, so you will just freaking die. Or like the meta shifts drastically between like cards that are aggressive versus cards that are more control oriented or like mid-range or whatever. It's insane, that game. It's still fun, but I dropped it eventually. They even did it. They released a second version of Shadowverse, which I played a bunch of, and I just lost interest in it. I just like stopped playing. So this might be like that game for me. I loved 2xKO. That's the one fighting game for me, and maybe I'll play it occasionally every once in a while. I'll show up in a Discord server, try and convince people to play it with me, and that'll be it. That'll just be it. I just hope that like their upcoming updates for the game are going to be really interesting, and not just like patches for the game or like just the upcoming character releases that we already know about. I hope there's going to be other things that they're planning on releasing, but probably not. I do love that game. Shout outs to 2xKO. That game's amazing, and I will keep playing it until the end of the year, and then maybe after that, but definitely not on stream after that. Very sad though. I am very sad about it. Good timing on the music too. And then restarts. Because I have it playing on loop. I will say though, I do want to like try not to stream any like farming games for a little bit. I do want to play like, or like not just farming, just like slow RPGs, I guess, because Palworld was really slow. And I think right now I want to do other things. As much as like I like relaxing, I think I need to play things that are a bit more active, because I realized when we were playing Peak, I was not paying attention to chat. I think I'm like so used to being able to just look at chat whenever that like I did the thing that I said I hated. I was a hypocrite, which is I said what something has to suffer. There are like 3 things when you're collabing that you have to pay attention to when you're collabing with somebody, of which one of them is the game you're playing, the people you're playing with, and your stream chat. And generally speaking, at least one of those things has to suffer. There are people that are really good at it, like being able to like balance all 3. But for most people, myself included, one of those 3 things has to go in order to keep everything coherent. And the worst case scenario is you ignore. Actually, I think ignoring your chat is the second worst thing you can do. I think the worst thing you can do, or I guess there's only 3 options. So like it's like third best. But like the worst thing you could do is probably ignoring the people you're playing with. And then after that, the next worst thing you can do is ignoring chats. And then the part after that would be ignoring gameplay. That would be the best case scenario is you ignore gameplay. And I did the worst thing. I was ignoring chat. I wasn't looking at chat. To be fair, there was nobody in my chat that was talking. It was mostly on Rin and Vision side, which, you know, good for you guys. I'm glad that you guys had people hanging out. But I still should have been reading chat. But Peak is such a weird game to do what we did. Peak is a very weird game to combine chats because you can't always hear everybody there, you know? You can't, like, because of whatchamacallit? Because of proximity voice chat, like, you can't always hear the other players, so it just feels very strange being able to, like, know what's going on from, like, the way other people are talking to. It was really weird. I don't know if Peak is the right game for that in the end, but it was still cool. And I'd do it again, but still, it was very weird. All right, I might end stream off this actually. I ran out of things to talk about for the most part. I'm sure there are other things I could pull out of my butt, but this is why I need to pay more attention to current day events so I could talk about like weird things that are going on in the video game industry or something. Something about Star Citizen, something about I need to look into this more. I just know something wacky is going on with Star Citizen, but like that game was, I think that game has been wacky for a long time now. But I mean, I never want to wish for a game's failure. I think people who do that are freaking weird. Like, why would you wish for a game's failure? I think the only like a reason why that would be okay is if like the developers of the game are like awful people. But like it's like one thing for like, it's like weird because a lot of games are developed by like a ton of different people, you know? It's not just like one person developing a game unless it's an indie game. So like if I hate like Helldivers 2 as a game, I really like Helldivers 2. I don't like Sony. And the more I'm looking at Arrowhead Studios and their decisions, I'm starting to not like Arrowhead that much either. But I've been there when the game was initially released at its peak. I was there like enjoying the game for a long time. And I really like the game Helldivers 2. I just don't like the direction that the studio is taking them in. But I don't wish for Helldivers 2 to do badly. I still want the game to flourish, and I want it to do well. I just don't like the companies behind it. So maybe I'm a hypocrite. I probably am, to be honest with you. But I just think it's weird to wish for the death of a game. Even like Concord or what was that game that was announced at the end of the last year's Game Awards that everybody was just like hating on, that eventually died. What game was that called again? It was like similar to Overwatch. High Guard. There you go. It's called High Guard. I said Overwatch and I was like, oh yeah, high, which is over, and then guard, like watch. High Guard. I thought that game looked cool, but then they pulled the plug on it, and I'm like, what the frick? Why? And like people were like, hell yeah, and I'm like, why are you going hell yeah for a dead game? The game looked interesting. It just wasn't, you know, super polished or like super great or anything, but like it looked like an interesting game. And I wish that the game did well, but it didn't do well. Like Concord was a game. I didn't wish for the death of Concord. the game looked janky, sure, but like I didn't wish death upon the game itself. Any game is like a love letter for like the developers who make it, for the most part. I'm sure there are many developers who are forced to make a game that they just don't care for, or like make decisions that like they don't want to do. But at the end of the day, like there are still people who spent a lot of time working on those games, and it feels like really bad faith to want a game to die just because you don't like it. That seems really silly to me. Why would you do that? Don't be stupid. I guess like some circumstances it kind of makes sense. Like that pirate software guy. That guy did some. That guy has an ego on him. And I do not. After like knowing like the laziness that went into his game Heartbound, if that game somehow ever were to release, I hope that I don't want that game to do incredibly well. But that mostly has to do with the person behind it and like the work ethic and everything. So maybe it's not like as hypocritical as I think, because like people talk crap on like the biggest like game studios all the freaking time, like Blizzard, like Activision Blizzard and EA, and like how bad their practices are for certain games, or rather than certain games, for like a lot of their games. But like, guess what companies are still selling the most games nowadays? Well, actually maybe not even nowadays anymore though, because people genuinely just don't want to spend $70 on new games anymore. Not even anymore. People don't want to spend $70 on a game. $60 was already a lot, but like I think 60 is somewhat reasonable if the game is like super high quality and like kind of worth like your money and time. 70, like you have to if hot take, I think game developers increasing the price of their games from 60 to 70 is fine as long as their game quality also reflects it. But they haven't been. Not really. I think Baldur's Gate 3, for example, that's a game that reflects its price tag. Baldur's Gate, like Larian, for the most part, does some pretty dang good work with their games. Now, to be fair, I heard like, I don't know the details about this. I don't know if this is true. I heard Larian was like dabbling with generative AI for their Divinity, their next Divinity game. If that's true, then screw Larian. But, well, I guess depending on like how the process goes, to be fair. Like if they do like what Expedition 33 did, like I think I'm a little bit more lenient to something like that, to like use it more as like a framework. But still, it's not, generative AI is not great because it just takes from artists without their permission, and that's not good. They gotta ask for permission. Freaking thieves. And now they're trying to trick us into doing things, you know, to giving our content away to our AI overlords. So, but for like Baldur's Gate 3, I think is like the best example right now of a modern game, like AAA studio game that costed $60-$70-ish. I don't even remember if it was a $70 game, but it was like at least $60. So it was like like if Baldur's Gate 3 was $70, I think I still would pay full price for it. That's how polished that game is, and how like good, like high quality of a product that Baldur's Gate 3 was, that reflects, I think, what a AAA studio should be able to put out with the kind of money and like teams that they have to work with. And like fingers crossed, by the way, that like GTA 6 is the best gosh dang game ever with the way that they've been trying to monetize it and make money off of it. because like at this point, I don't even know if it's freaking worth it. I don't even know if at the end of the day, GTA 6 is gonna be worth it. It's gonna be $80 freaking, like, which is crazy. They're like advertising it, like selling things, but I don't know. It's like that game better be the greatest game of our generation, and even if it is, I'm not buying it. Even if everybody says like this is the best game ever, you have to try it, I still don't know if I'm gonna buy it because that's a lot of freaking money. Right now, I mean, again, I'm being hypocritical because I considered buying a Switch 2 and just so I could get Fire Emblem, but hey, we got our tastes, I guess. I was never much of a GTA head, so, but I do love my freaking Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is amazing and awesome and deserves a lot for the most part, even though I don't like Nintendo as a company all that much. Gosh darn Nintendo. Am I being too negative? I might be being too negative on stream. Oh, frick. My whole goal was to be the positive boy, but like here I am being negative. Imagine that. All right. We managed at the 2-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We did it. With that said, I'll probably end off that. I'll be back next week with like longer streams again. Probably 2xKO. I do want to hit GM. I've been talking about hitting GM. Let's do it. I think I have to hit GM next week now that I think about it, because I'm going to be leaving, and by the time we get back, I'm pretty sure the season's going to end by then, by the time I get back. And then Lux is going to release, and yeah, I know. So I'm probably going to have to try and hit GM next week. So that's going to be the goal. I'm currently Masters 2, like 50-ish LP. So we're halfway through Masters to hitting GM. The game is throwing challenger players at me. I was playing against this guy named Joy. Hi, I am Joy, who is like top 100 players in the game, and he destroyed me. So there's that. I was also playing against Panunu, who I think is also a challenger level player, if not like high GM. And I took a few games off of him, which was cool. But like I think he was trolling me, to be honest. I think he was sandbagging. I think he was trying to make me feel better, and he was sandbagging, which I'd rather that he just freaking wipe my face on the floor. But I do think some of the rounds I took were genuine, so I'll take it. So, but yeah, but I will probably be focusing on 2xKO next week, climbing up to GM. Once I do that, I might like mess around with the game a bit more, like open lobbies and stuff. Or I'll just go straight back into Dark Souls, and then we'll see how that goes. After taking like a long hiatus from that game, we'll see. And after that, I don't know. Actually, I guess we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll finish out everything I didn't finish in Silk Song. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Short stream today. Very short stream. But I don't think now is a good time to do novel diving, considering that well, there really isn't many people here in the first place. So thank you guys for watching. Short stream, it happens. I need a short stream after freaking Power World anyways. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it may be for you. If you haven't, please go to stretch, get a drink of water. If it's late, please go to bed, take care of yourselves. I'll be streaming again next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 of those 3 days. I don't know which ones yet. I'm probably gonna skip one because yeah. Oh yeah, I might be doing a collab too next week, so that's something. Oh frick, I am doing a collab potentially on Wednesday, so I have less time than I thought I did. So within 2 streams I did GM. Fantastic. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I will see you guys next time. Boop.